Alright, sorry about that. I kinda got cut off by my video for some reason. I'm sorry about that. Now, picking up where I left off. Tattooed inside of his hip bone was a black letter A. His large hand settled on her thigh, his thumb absently running back and forth over her tattoo. He smirked. "What'd you tell that boyfriend of yours again? What's it mean?" She laughed, and her response was sarcastic. "It's an R for rogue, of course. So I never forget where I came from." He snorted. "More like you'll never More like you'll never forget who made you come." "Remy!" she scolded as she swatted his chest. "That's vulgar." He grinned, clearly not the slightest bit apologetic. "And what about you, big shot?" She arched an eyebrow at him. "What do you say about yours?" He glanced down at the letter proudly displayed on his skin. "The girls I'd ask, I tell them the truth." She looked unconvinced. "And what's that?" His thumb was still bruised, brushing back and forth on her hip. "That it's for the girl that's gonna break my heart." "Remy," she frowned at him. "I wish you wouldn't say that." "I know." He looked sort of somber. "But it's like you keep saying, that things would never work out between us." She was still frowning. "You know they wouldn't." "It would be, what'd you call it?" He looked pensive, searching for the word. Her brow arched. "Career suicide." "Oui." There was a small nod. "Career suicide. Superheroes can't be running around with scum for hire." "Remy." Her frown deepened, unhappy with his assessment. Okay, they said frowned deepened. Get rid of the ED. It's only supposed to be frown deepened. Unless you had said frowned deeper. Either way, that is incorrect grammatically. We're just from two different worlds. You know that. It would never work. His head dropped down, and he wished that he hadn't wasted that cigarette. Maybe that would have been a problem before, but we're adults now. You're 25, and I'm almost 30. Isn't that old enough to make our own decisions? Not wanting to rehash the same discussion they'd had umpteen times before, she tried her best to change the word. "Speaking of that, birthday boy." She walked 2 fingers seductively up his chest, between those chiseled pectoral muscles. "You should see what I've got planned for you 2 weeks from now." I'm sorry, that says what I got planned for 2 weeks from now. I'm not sure if that's grammatically correct. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, because they've been mostly right so far. The look on her face told him he didn't know how he'd be able to wait the 2 weeks until his birthday. Obviously, it momentarily distracted him, and his eyes lit up hopefully. "Please let me... You went out and got that sexy nurse costume we saw. Please, tell me." You could make let work if you added, 3 words. Let me know if you went out and got that sexy nurse costume we saw. And it ends in a question mark. If you start a sentence with please, it's most likely going to be a command, which would make it end in a period, or an exclamation point if he's really excited, but it doesn't mention anything about excitement, so I'm assuming that he is asking for a response, which is a command. which makes it imperative, and imperative sentences end in a period. She winked at him, her hand now flat on his chest. I guess you'll just have to wait and see. He groaned, but accompanied it with a smile. Cher, this is going to be a long 2 weeks. Does he really speak this much broken French-English mashup? He has a very Creole accent, I imagine. She was back to grinning. It'll give you something to look forward to. His eyes were focused on hers, and began to stray to her body once again. Ro, you look sexy as hell right now. She giggled under her heated gaze, his eyes giving away his thoughts. You were just trying to sweet-talk me so we can do it again. His face showed fake outrage. Moi? I would never. Yeah, right, she snorted. And next you'll be telling me again how I'm the best sex you ever had. He was grinning widely. You are the best sex I've ever had. No contest there. She looked at him skeptically. Of course. No one else has the ability to absorb you when you climax, and that's what you love. He shrugged. I was going to say it was because of your fantastic breasts. I think earlier I said I was going to say it because of your fantastic breasts. That was a mistake on my part, if I did. She nodded her eyes. You are incorrigible. Incorrigible? Let me look up that word real quick. What's it mean? Alright. Like stubborn. Okay. And her eyes narrowed at him. I'm still upset with you for saying they were fake. Oh, shit. He held back the temptation to roll his eyes. He held up a finger. That was 3 years ago. Does he really do that? A lot? I don't even know. He held up a second finger. And dear, that tiny waist? You can see why I thought that. It seems impossible. Because it is impossible. Most women portrayed in comic books and art and other things like that are set to a standard that's almost impossible to achieve. Alright. She tried to shoot him a look, but he was too busy grinning, with his eyes glued directly to her chest. She muttered, I was a late bloomer. He laughed good-naturedly and leaned over to kiss her lips. He slowly trailed his lips down from hers to her neck. Ah, she sighed and felt her hands make it to the back of his neck, fingers sliding to the hair at the nape. You are like a drug. He pulled back to look at her with a cocked eyebrow. Are you saying that I'm bad for your health? Her tongue darted out and trailed along her bottom lip. I'm saying that you are addictive. I can't get enough. Rogue, his voice was quiet. You know I love you. She smiled sincerely and leaned over to press a soft kiss against his lips. My bad. I love you too, Remy. Always. He sighed as he started to slide his body on top of hers. But you still can't stay the night? She broke eye contact and looked away. She could feel the weight of his body pushing hers into the mattress. You know I can't. That's the end of the story. There's one more author's note, but it's just a review reviews equal love. Alright. So, this whole review is taking about 34 minutes, or 35 something. Time for the real review. It's an okay story. I mean, it's not as bad as I was fearing from what I was told about it. There's some bad grammar here and there, little slip-ups really, and some misspelled words, but that's excusable. It was... What really kind of kills it for me is, other than the fact that it's not really my cup of tea and I don't really know the X-Men series very well. Oh, it's from the cartoon, actually. X-Men Evolution. Oh, alright then. It was posted, a year ago. So, I'm not sure that the author got very much better. I just hope that they stopped writing out the accent. This was a pretty good story, I guess. If you're a fan of it, I suppose. I'm not a real big fan, so I can't really speak very much on it. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to try to be doing a review once a week, probably every Friday, maybe a late one on Saturday or Sunday, or an early one. But if you have a story that you want me to review, any kind at all, just send it my way. I'll try to put the link